We have to go back into the dim, dark past of 2009 when we commissioned work with Oriel Davies, and that was two artists called the Disabled Avant-Garde. Arts Council Wales are really keen for us to do more work, so then we got into discussion with Disability Arts Cymru.
For a long time we've supported disabled artists to exhibit their work, but Tu Fewn has taken it that step further.
Where before we'd selected 3 galleries, we set up a whole application process for galleries to apply for a commission.
Nothing like this has been done before, to just insert an artist or a curator into a gallery programme.
I just thought it was an important thing to do, and they could see it would develop their learning, it would give them new ways of working. And I think that's what organisations want to do. They want to take some risks.
We live in a diverse society, and there's many different reasons, particularly for disabled artists, why they're so underrepresented. It needs organisations like us to be supporting those disabled artists to move up and be appearing in the world and not be sidelined.
We presented Aidan Moesby's An Inn with a Stranger. The key thing was that it was an exhibition that was very different from what we normally present.
I was looking at weather, both in terms of internal weather and external weather, and I'm interested in how we use the language of weather to describe how we feel or how we talk about people.
We were very intrigued by the idea of working with artists with disabilities in mainstream programming.
It professionalises you one more stage.
It was only with Aidan coming in, looking at what we did and actually suggesting alternative ways of doing things. Although we didn't perceive barriers, there were barriers there.
I think one of the first times where we started to see, okay, this is going to turn out to be a really different commission from anything we've done before, was when Gail started talking about this desire to try and develop gatherings.
I went to an evening conversation about toilets. Toilets really is a sort of metaphor for how you think about how people can access what you're doing.
They were open to the public to come along and join into the conversation.
And the other thing that was absolutely gobsmacking was a really simple thing that Gail Howard decided to do. She got some of the volunteers and staff at G39 to weave the words, "You are welcome," into the mesh fence. And the people who have been living around that gallery had never been inside. Just saying to people, "You are welcome," that ethos then applies as well to artists. It's not just audiences.
One of the commissions with Tu Fewn, which we were very happy to take on board, was actually commissioning Zoe Partington to actually develop an artwork as part of the 2015 Diffusion Festival, Looking for America. We do have a number of disabled people who are volunteers or audience members. What I wanted was to kind of make sure that we were really providing them with the kind of programme that they really wanted. It's also about shifting the culture of the organisation through having a disabled artist thrown into the mix that can actually agitate and create interesting new ways of doing that which we've been doing for a number of years. It's changed the way that I'm certainly thinking about how we present work, whether that's by disabled artists or non-disabled artists. It shouldn't be dependent on an extra grant or an extra project. We need to embed that kind of creative thinking into everything that we do.
The divide between fulfilling the diversity agenda and the pressure on arts organisations to deliver high quality art. I don't know whether Tu Fewn itself could immediately address that, but what it's done is pushed open a door to allow artists to maybe start thinking about crossing over from one side to the other, and actually more importantly for programmers to broaden their radar for who they're actually looking forward to programme.
We've started along a road. I think the next thing we need to do is start mentoring disabled visual artists, working with the galleries so that they actually start to see these artists as professional artists, because I think that's an issue still, that the word disability means amateur or hobby, not a serious professional artist you could show in any space.
It's been really interesting watching the conversations pan out and see the changes of approach, which I hope will trickle down into the organisations who've been part of this.
The thing that I think's most valuable about this project is the fact that it is focused on exhibitions and gallery spaces. This project really clearly is addressing how curators need to be more aware of accessibility problems, but also making sure that they are working with disabled artists.
Through Tu Fewn and meeting the galleries, it's given us a clear idea of which artists we could put in touch with those galleries, and they're now much more open to work with disabled artists. We see it as a really good grounding for what hopefully will be lots of other projects in the future, and not just with the 3 galleries that were involved this time, but other galleries seeing what a success it's been and coming to us and saying, we really want to support a disabled artist, send one to us.
Being a curator and being an artist, whether you're a disabled artist or not, is something that can can be achieved and delivered in Wales. And I think hopefully that will be the legacy of Tu Fewn, in that it will change the way that the visual arts are perceived in Wales.